Hey, in this video, I take a 4-bar loop and turn it into a full composition, a full beat that I can proudly present to other people. Let's go! So the first thing I do is that I export the tracks from the session that I worked in. So I've made a loop and I want to export those tracks. In this case, it's from Ableton Live, so I'll export them. And then they're placed in a folder. I rename the individual tracks because I didn't do that in Ableton. And then I drag them into Logic Pro, like this. And I use a template that is also available as a free download. You can just check the link in the description. You can download a pack of templates that I have laying there for you to use if you need them. And then once I've dragged them into Logic, I will drag each individual track into the corresponding track already in the template because they are rooted into several buses that I like to use. And here are the buses. It's the drum bus, the bass bus, the instrument bus. And sometimes I have vocal tracks as well. That's seldom when I'm just in the beat making stage, but I have tracks there for vocals as well. And once I've done that, I color them. And I name them correctly. Next thing I do is I duplicate the 4-bar loop so that I have 4 times the amount that I started off with. I do the same thing when it comes to 8-bar or even 16-bar loops. I just like to have 4 versions of the loop. So then I have one version where I'm thinking about an intro. I have one version that I'm thinking about one type of verse, and I have one version that is another type of a verse, and then I have one version for something that has to do with a chorus or a hook, and the outro will come as the last thing I do. The first thing I do is I check that everything is in place, and sometimes I find that I have to redo some elements. I might need to move a kick a little bit and a snare a little bit, and I have to make minor adjustments because in the arrangement stage and in a new DAW and in a new setting and maybe even in a new day, I see things that I didn't see initially when I was in the flow states as I am when I'm making beats. So this is not the writing stage, this is the arrangement stage. My internal critic shows up here and does a good job of taking away things that I thought sounded cool when I started making the beats. And my system is this: import, find the correct place for every tracks, name the tracks, and color the tracks. Okay, so now I have 4 versions of the loop, duplicated 4 times. So I have a beat that is 4 times as long. And now I start with the second thing, which is clean up the tracks and correct any mistake that I have made laying around. And while I do this, I tend to use some EQ, maybe even some compression, just to make the sounds fit better together, because I can't help but do a bit of basic mixing while I'm doing the arrangement, which also in turn, when it comes time for mixing, it will be a bit simpler. Everything is laid down, all the basic stuff such as remove rumble and remove all the frequencies, notching out frequencies I don't need, that will be ready when it's time for mixing. So what I tend to do is that I make sure that the snare is what it should be, the kick is in place, and also the hi-hats, but this does not apply in this case because the hi-hats is a part of the main loop. And then comes the bass, and I found actually when I imported this that the bass didn't fit at all, because when I produce, I use one set of headphones, and at the arrangement stage, I use another set of headphones plus speakers, so I hear more details then, and when I hear those details I have to do it again. This time around I did it again in Logic. I played back the bass again. I felt that there needed to be another melody. The notes had to come in different places this time around, and that's the whole process from sketching it out to finishing it. It's always going back and forth, tweaking. It's not a set step-by-step program that you can just follow through, and when you're done with step 1, you can move over to step 2. That's not how I work, at least. I go from step 1, and then I go to step 2, and then I go back to step 1, and then I go to step 3 and back to step 2, and then I move like that. But in this case, I started off with the drums, thinking about them, then the bass, and then I had to do a lot of re-recording and re-editing, and then the main loops and the hits, and then I started to add some reverb effects, some delay, some effects. I felt that I needed it, and then as you can see, I added some automation. I automated the filter on the EQ on the main loop just to let another element through at the end of every 4 bars. I also inserted some movement into this string instrument, this alt loop. I pitched it up a 7th and I blended that in for every second time this loop was played. And this really gave some neat variation and movement to the overall sound. And I think that also applies in the arrangement category. It's like that's not a mixing thing, it's more of a producer thing. And when everything seems to be fine and perfect as it could be at least, I duplicate all these regions until I get the full song. And in this case, I wanted it to be 2 minutes long because it's for the sample challenge 314, the Chris McManus, aka DJ Stress. He has a sample challenge going on every week and everyone can join in, and all the info you need to join in is in the description. And then comes time for variations and transitions, making it coming alive with movement and such. The final thing that I do is that I mute some of the tracks here and there. Not everything should be played all the time, especially in a track like this where it's really the variation that is driving this beat, because the loop is so monotonous and it's not really the greatest loop that you can find. It's not that breakthrough loop that you can make a hit of. Still, you can get a dope beat with a mediocre sample, and that's my opinion at least. So I think the result here, as we are hearing now, is starting to sound quite good. Better than it could be if I had chosen to give up and not make this beat because I didn't really feel the samples initially. Hit the like button if you like this video so far, and which of these arrangement tactics did you like the most? Let me know in the comments. Even though the arrangement is done, the beat isn't. It's a bit rough around the edges. So what we need now is mixing. It needs some separation, it needs glue, it needs all that good stuff. If you check out this video, I run through how I mix this beat from start to finish using only stock Logic plugins, making it sound clean and nice and crisp and clear, and I can't wait to see you there. Peace!